So I'm not going back and forth with a man who thinks that they should be in my position. If you want to be in my position, get in my position.
Do you believe that?
Bluff City Media presents The Anthony Sain Show on YouTube at Bluff City Media. Stepping up to the microphone is your host, Anthony Sain.
Acknowledge me.
What's going on, everyone? Welcome to the Anthony Sain Show, here live from the Bluff City Media Studios. Got my man Kenny Stubblefield behind the glass. What to do, Kenny?
My guy, you good?
I'm good, man. Paris Shark is in the building as well. Paris, what's going on, my guy?
What's good? Back
Man,
like I never left.
Back like it never left, for sure, man. My
Anthony,
guy.
you sounded like Barry White today, man.
I don't know what's going on in my voice, man. I don't know what that is.
What's happening?
I don't know.
Me and you both have been kind of struggling with our sinuses.
Yeah,
over the
man.
last
This
couple weeks.
allergy sinus stuff ain't joking at all, man. I just drank a little bit of this Waterloo, sparkling water, hoping that to help me out a little bit.
Hey, man. You know, me and you are getting old, Anthony.
Yeah, we getting old, man.
This sinus stuff doesn't.
It don't hit like it used to.
Back in the day, we just used to sneeze it out.
Yeah,
and be
you
done.
used to have a runny nose and keep it moving. Nowadays, that jump be shutting you down. Hey, your head spinning.
Paris,
About to fall out.
You're young.
Take that Zyrtec and that Flonase every day.
That man said he take Zyrtec, Flonase,
and emergency.
Drink emergency every day. Like, yeah, fam, you getting it in
My
for sure.
sinus is the same way.
Yeah,
It
man.
adds up every year. Then acted up like a couple months ago.
Wait, every day?
He said he drink emergency every day.
Wow.
That's crucial, man, for sure. But yeah, we got a great show today. A lot of stuff going on with the University of Memphis athletics, Tiger basketball and Tiger football. Got stuff to talk about with that. The Grizzlies are back in full swing. Had a preseason game the other night. Got one tonight, which is Tuesday when we record. You guys, of course, are watching on Wednesday, so we'll be talking about the game that's not happened yet in real time. DaMichael Cole is going to join me for the sit down with Sain. We'll talk about some Grizzlies stuff. Sure, that's going to be a good interview, of course. But since the last time we talked, Kenny Stubblefield, there was a commitment.
Yeah, it was.
By a local player here. We said that it was the worst kept secret. And
I know. Me and you were on here on the show going, yeah, it's a done deal.
Yeah, we were just talking about the formalities. Is it going to be a Payne's barbecue or Big Bill's on Kirby? Which one? That's what our discussion was.
I said Payne's, and I was like, wait a second.
Nah, it can't be Payne's. Then they're having a commitment to Payne's. I doubt it. But yeah, because they'll require for them to be open past 2 o'clock. Right. So which we know it wouldn't be Payne's. But yeah, shout out to Payne's, best pulled pork sandwich in Memphis. Unless one of you want to sponsor me and get me to say otherwise, but if you got money for me to say that somebody that your establishment has a better pork sandwich than Payne's, you can definitely hit up Mark King or Zach Thomas with Bluff City Media. They can get me to say otherwise. Curtis Gibbons III committed to the Louisiana State University, the Tigers, a school that he says has been reaching out to him, been connected to him for a while. I don't really care what that kid says. I'm going to share my opinion on what I think happens in these type of situations. I'm not saying nothing he's saying isn't true, but I think there are other things that that can happen. Let me say this, because we'll talk about him and we'll talk about Billy Richmond III as well. Just two very unique situations, and because there's things going on with Billy Richmond Jr., who's Billy Richmond III's dad, that he went and posted a rant on Facebook, and just not really a rant. He just shared some things that
shared his thoughts, man.
Yeah, got his thoughts off, got his shit off for sure. So I'll talk about both of those situations, and I'll say this first of all: in this era of college basketball, where young men are able to transfer the way they transfer, guys can go test the water in the NBA because everybody's NIL. There's so many things outside of just NIL that make college basketball different than it was 2, 3, 4 years ago, let alone months ago. You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
So you've got guys who, like Penny Hardaway has benefited from, guys who have tested the water of the NBA, realized they didn't want to do that, came back to college basketball. So Penny Hardaway just came in and swooped in this large core of semi-pros for his team this year. And he's going to have a very awesome college basketball team. Like, that's something, that is what I think will be a new normal in the NBA. That you'll have your high school guys that you recruit. You'll get your transfer portal guys. Then you have these transfer portal plus guys who are not just transferring, but these are guys who think they're NBA ready. And then the NBA is telling them otherwise. You're going to get those type of guys. Mm-hmm. And I think that's a new normal in the NBA. And I think that's a lane that Penny Hardaway will dominate in. That he can really do his thing. And that he can Penny Hardaway is not going to move like these other coaches are when it comes down to recruiting guys. I think he's going to recruit an older player, a more experienced player, and a semi-pro level guy to his team. I think that's his strategy. I think this is what he's going to go with. And with that being said, the days of coveting freshman local kids will look a lot different. Am I saying that? Because this is what I don't want to do. Because there are people saying, well, Penny wanted Curtis Givens III, he would have had him. If he wants all those, I'm not gonna get into that type of game. I'm not gonna try to downplay these kids because they didn't go to the University of Memphis, which is one of the main problems I have with a lot of college athletic fans. They have this mentality of, I'm gonna take a shit on this kid because he didn't go to, my particular school that I want him to go to. Because I haven't heard anybody really talking bad about Curtis Givens III before he said he wasn't coming to Memphis.
Can I ask you one question real quick?
Don't go get me lost, but go ahead.
I won't.
Go ahead.
What is it that you're hearing bad about Curtis Givens III?
I'm not saying there are really three places where I look at information. That is the Bluff City Media Discord, which you also could be a member of for $4.99 a month. Good stuff going on over there where you could talk to other subscribers. It's more of a controlled sports conversation. It's not just some wild bunch of wackos talking. As we speak, it's a controlled conversation. Plus, you get members of Bluff City Media. Other Memphis Media members are in there as well. You can have an intelligent conversation, inside information. Get that for $4.99 a month. I'm in there. I'm on Twitter, of course, and I'm on. I'll stick my head. I do not participate, but I will stick my head into Facebook groups as well. And I've seen a lot of, he's not that good. These kids are scared. They're afraid of competition.
Got you.
They're cowards. Their dads ain't shit. Like all these kind of things started coming out, man.
Uncalled for stuff.
Right. So, see, I got lost, Ken. When you stopped me, man.
I'm sorry, bro. I'm sorry.
But what I'm trying to say is that it has to be in the era we're in now where it's obvious that the priority, not just in Memphis, but in college basketball altogether, it's kind of iffy to take a freshman because there's a good chance that freshman will not be on your school next year anyway. So you're looking at a waste of time, effort, and of resources. If you're paying big-time NIL money to a freshman player, there's a good chance that kid will not play for your school. I don't care who you are, what school you are. There's a good chance you'll have a kid who, one, didn't make you good enough to win a national championship, didn't go to the NBA, and now he just transfers to another school. So it's almost like a loss of a resource. Because if he goes to the NBA, hey, that makes you look good. It helps other players feel like you're a good landing spot. But if you're paying $5, $6, $7, $8 million NIL deal to a kid, and then he gets something and goes to another school next year, that's not a good investment at all. And that's kind of the trap that you can fall into when it comes down to recruiting freshmen. So I think that makes recruiting local freshmen even that much more difficult because these two particular kids, their situation is so unique, Kenny Stubblefield, because not only these two kids are high-profile college basketball players who are from Memphis, who the University of Memphis are recruiting, and these two kids' fathers are probably two of the bigger named black male business owner entrepreneurs in the city of Memphis. It's Curtis Givens and Billy Richmond.
1,000%.
Who are two highly successful, highly influential, young black men in the city of Memphis who are not your typical sports kids' dads.
They didn't get their names off their kids.
Right, exactly. Right. And they're not hurting for money, and they're not looking for a payday through their kids. They're able to move a lot different. Both of these guys, they're businessmen now, so they're not new to money, but they ain't running for money either. You understand what I'm saying? So it's two totally different situations. Two men who I very much well know who they are. I don't have a personal connection with Curtis Givens. If he sees me in person, he may know who I am, may not. I know who he is. Billy Richmond is somebody that I call a friend. I know Billy very well. He's someone I communicate with often. And I just think this is such an awkward situation, man, because you're talking about guys who contribute to the community. Both of those guys are humanitarians. They donate to a lot of charitable situations, people. I've seen these guys do giveaways, buy groceries for people. I've seen these guys both do these type of things.
They have a very heavy footprint in the city.
Absolutely. And it's such an awkward situation for those those two men's kids to be recruited by the school, especially when one decides not to be here. I can't imagine what it's like to have to make the decision to not go to the local school. And you've seen people say things like, I can't believe this kid came here just to tell us he's not going to Memphis.
The dumbest argument.
He's from here, man. This is where his tribe is, his safe place is.
It's his dad's restaurant,
right? It's his dad's restaurant. Where would you like for him to commit on Zoom? You know what I mean? So I'm not mad at that. I'm not mad at Curtis Givens III going out and doing this thing. I wish him the absolute best. Memphis will always be home. If he goes, the most likely scenario for that kid, just being honest, is he'll go to LSU. He'll want to go somewhere else just because he can. He may want to come back to Memphis. I'm sure Memphis is always going to be welcoming the door for him. That would be dope. Billy Richmond III, I don't know what's going to happen with that. Billy, I'm not even going to really get into the stuff that Billy talked about on Facebook. His father talked about on Facebook. A man is entitled to have his frustrations. Billy Richmond is a former Tiger, and he's a donor to the University of Memphis. You know what I mean? I'm sure he contributes to the NIL stuff in a major way, some type of way. If he has an issue with anything going on over there, he has the right to do that. Especially when you're talking, like I put in the Discord today, man. The relationship, a fan-coach relationship, does not have to look like, and will never look like the relationship between a parent of a recruit or a parent of an athlete and the coach. It's a totally different thing. All the Go Tigers Go, all the hashtag GTG, all that rah-rah stuff doesn't mean nothing when it comes down to business and, the agreements these guys come together and make.
It's his kid, man.
Right, it's his kid we're talking about, man. Like he don't care about none of this stuff that we care about. So there may be a side of opinion that he's in disagreement with. I hope those two guys, because I know those guys have previous relationship. I know those guys are close. You know what I mean? So I hope that all gets ironed out. I hope that everything works out for those guys. But like I said, man, business is business and basketball is basketball. And sometimes they intertwine.
I have no doubt that whatever frustration is out there, whether it's on one side or both sides or whatever, stuff will get worked out.
It'll get worked out, man.
It's fine.
But like Big Boy said on ATL, man, this is grown man business. You know what I mean? And we really need to stay, as fans, we need to stay out of it.
Stay out of that.
Yeah, stay out of it because it ain't got nothing to do with us. There's something that's on a whole nother level, man. Just stay out of grown man business, bro, for sure. But like I said, if Curtis Givens is head to LSU, if Billy goes to another school, or if he comes to Memphis, I'm not gonna say that kid's not coming to Memphis, man. I've seen wilder situations that whatever they're talking about with Billy and Penny, where the kid still ends up coming here. Like I'm not gonna say that kid's not coming. And if you don't, I don't feel a way about that either for him. Because like I said, it's always hard for a local kid to say no, especially when you have high profile parents and people know who you are, and those type of things. So. And because these are some things I can guarantee you, Kenny, as we go to break. Give my guy DaMichael Cole in here. These are some things I can guarantee you. Curtis Givens III will be fine. Billy Richmond III will be fine. CGI Entertainment will be fine. They've been fine ever since I was in middle school.
Since we were in middle school.
Right, exactly. The guys been having parties.
I've been trying to go to one of those events
Little
since I
Whoop
was
parties,
in middle school.
Yeah, I've had several. I owe several life experiences to Curtis Givens. I just say that.
Right.
From Lil Wook parties. Hey, many nights at the premiere ended very well for budding Anthony Sain in my
for your
20s.
boy.
for the kid. Like, let me say, many nights at club premiere. Shout out to Curtis Givens.
Shout out, Curtis.
You always be in debt to me. I ain't got much bad to say about you, man. I've had many great nights because of nights that started at a Curtis Givens event. So I don't have much to say about you. The Wing Guru will be fine. I promise you that. And the University of Memphis will be fine. Penny Hardaway is going to be great. He's got an incredible team going. He's got a great strategy what he's doing to recruit. I trust that all parties involved and the Memphis Tiger fan base, we will be okay too. Felt good to say we for all y'all who might be concerned of where my allegiance is when it comes down to college sports fandom. But yeah, man,
folks are still questioning your fandom, even though you've been a fan since 5 years old.
Man, I used to cry when my parents would make me. I had a hard 8:00 p.m. bedtime. Like, damn. Oh, I would cry. I would be in the house. Elliot Perry and them were on TV, and I'm in the bed crying because I hear my brothers and sisters and my mom and dad up watching Tiger basketball on that one TV we had in the living room. Yeah. And I'm in the bed. I would be steaming hot mad. But yeah, it's exciting times. Crazy stuff going on right now. We'll get through this. All parties involved will get through this. Man, these guys' dads are two vital young men in the city of Memphis. Young, adults. You know what I'm trying to say, but they're not young adults. Y'all get what I'm trying to say.
Yeah, we know.
Two guys who've been doing their thing in the city for a while. Don't do this to them or their kids, man. Like, don't cut the goofy stuff off for a minute and just let these guys manage their children to the best of their abilities, man. Because it's so many things, so much stuff to like. And I'll say this to support Billy Richmond. Y'all don't know what the hell is going on. Y'all don't know what y'all are talking about. A lot of people are just out here just talking based on nothing, based on reporters who don't really know these guys, and these guys are just telling them whatever, and people just kind of piecing together stories. Y'all don't know. Just relax. We don't know. We don't know. This is grown man business, man. Let them figure this stuff out. But we're about to take a break, man. When we come back, my man DaMichael Cole from the Commercial Appeal is going to be here. We're going to talk about what he's noticed so far from camp. Stuff we're saying in the preseason game from the Grizzlies. Exciting Grizzlies season. Looks like it's on the way. We'll talk about that with DaMichael Cole and more here on Anthony Sain Show. See you guys in a minute.
Bluff City Media and Bluff City NIL are proud partners of Coaching for Literacy, a Memphis nonprofit using the power of sports to impact childhood literacy. When you donate to Bluff City NIL through Coaching for Literacy, your gift is 100% tax deductible. This partnership is a win-win-win. Tiger student athletes win in the NIL landscape, Coaching for Literacy wins by engaging Tiger student athletes in this monumental cause, and most importantly, elementary students in Memphis receive support to become strong readers. To donate today, visit coachingforliteracy.org/bluff-city.
Seth Hennigan, we've been critical of him and his performance and turning the ball over, and this game was really on his shoulders, and he delivered.
He delivered, man. It just felt very uninspiring the first, quarter and a half or quarter and three quarters of the second quarter. It just felt completely uninspired football coming from the Tigers. And a lot of it was on, with Seth, the way that he was, there just didn't seem to be a whole lot of let's go. What's the word I'm looking for? Just
sense of
urgency to really get things going. And then that shifted, man.
It wasn't his most passing yards or his most touchdowns or his most completions, but just as far as managing the game and keeping the team in the game and it was definitely the best performance from this year. And just thinking back, it's definitely up there for his best performance in a Memphis uniform.
Tune in to On the Bluff with Christian Fowler and Gabe Kuhn every Tuesday at 12 p.m. on the Bluff City Media YouTube channel.
Shout out to freaking Gillis for
shout out
stepping
for Gillis, dude.
Stepping in and looking like a kicker.
Was that not the weirdest tweet ever?
I don't want to even. It's disgusting. How do both of your scholarship kickers the first tweet I saw didn't say anything about injury, so I was like, it is the stomach bug. The Willis household has it. He was hanging out with Seth and Tristan.
Yeah, we all went to Firehouse.
They must have been roommates in St. Louis. They got boo-boo bottom, and they can't play. And then somebody said they were injured, and I'm like, okay, what the hell's going on? Did they get hurt at Topgolf, trying to outdrive each other? I
had no clue how your kicker gets hurt. Not one.
Not just one, both.
Yeah,
both.
But
in the same week. Something's fishy.
He said that he knew that they were hurt, but they were kind of day to day, so I didn't want to say anything about it.
Were they riding somewhere together and were in a minor car accident?
Tandem bikes?
Yeah, I don't know.
On a tandem bike and fell over.
Tune in to Tigers Untapped with TJ Willis and Trey Lasley every Wednesday at 3 p.m. on the Bluff City Media YouTube channel.
All right, y'all, welcome back to the Anthony Sain Show. Got my man DaMichael Cole here for the sit down with Sain. Y'all know who he is, Grizzlies beat writer for the Commercial Appeal. Busy man. Hard to get my boy in here, man. The Grizzlies got practice damn near every day, training camp going on, preseason games, all that. You guys are watching the show on Wednesday. By the time you see this, the Grizzlies would have played 2 preseason games. There's a preseason game tonight. We record on Tuesday for Wednesday. DaMichael Cole was in the building. DaMichael, what's going on, my brother?
What's going on, bro?
Man, you got it, man.
Yeah, it's that time of the year. You know, we've got preseason basketball to talk about. We were telling Kenny before the show.
Yeah.
All that hypothetical summer stuff. I'm so glad that's
all
over
the
now.
talking, all the what you work on this summer, all that. No, man, let's see it, man. The court is open for you to do your thing. We out here. Last preseason game, the Grizzlies won in overtime. I was having so much fun during the overtime period because we left. I was there with my guy Michael Harrell from Silent Media Group, and me, him, and Parrish. Parrish, it was his first time covering a game as media as well. So I said, all right, guys, around the 2-minute mark, let's go ahead and hit the elevator, get down to the media room. I said, you'll see the game. There's TVs in the hallway. We'll watch the game as we go down. Plus, it's preseason, so it don't matter. Elevator situation, we had to take the steps. So we thinking we done missed everything. Game goes into overtime. And we're down there, and I'm just going nuts, man. Y'all saw my video of me having fun with Tiger football fans or whatever. Y'all saw that. But also I was down there. I'm going crazy because I'm like, give the ball to Kenny Lofton, bro, so I can go home, bro. I'm ready to go home, bro. Like, quit screwing around. Give the ball to Junior if we can get up out of here. What are your impressions of that first game? What did you like? But like I said, by the time people see this, we will have a second game under our belts. What were your impressions of that first game? What you saw?
Yeah, we saw a bunch of different guys. So I wanted to see the rotations, how they played out. Luke Kennard started that first game. So we got to see him play more minutes with Dez. Got to see Steven Adams in his first game. Right. You know, 5 rebounds, 12 minutes. So he right on pace.
Right.
You know, right on his regular season pace. Jaren looked good. They got him in some different actions. Desmond Bain, you know, getting downhill, getting to his spots as well. And then the bench guys, that's who I wanted to see more. You know what you're going to get out the starters at this point, probably a little bit more than in the past because they're getting older, getting more experience. But I wanted to see, you know, Jake LaRavia. He punching on dudes now. I go to the locker room. I'm asking dudes, saying, I'm like, did y'all know he had this in the bag? Everybody's like, yeah, he can do that.
Yeah.
So we asked Jake, like, where'd that come from? Like, man, I'm just a shooter. You know, y'all don't see me do it that much because I'm shooting most of the time, but it's there. So I mean, you got him, you got Roddy, who they really, you know, counting on defensively to take another step forward. Conchar in his role. We saw him play on the ball a little bit more. It seems like that's going to be kind of a way he finds himself on the floor. So
they're going to find a way to get him on the floor. So.
Yeah. So you know, they love his defense. So he going to be on the floor some type of way. But
I'm sure he'll play some undersized 5. Anyway, go ahead.
Yeah, but I was just impressed more than anything, just with what we saw from Derrick Rose. You know, just him taking advantage of this opportunity because. Honestly, I wanted him to shut up the naysayers a little bit. And you see the new thing that the naysayers are moving on to is, it's just one preseason game.
Yeah.
And that's true, but it's also the Derrick Rose that we saw in the past. Like, you go back 2 seasons ago before
Minnesota, Detroit. Yeah,
that's that guy. That's him right there. Right. Like, this is some, you know, career night he just had.
Right. It's not like he's been limping around for the last 5 years.
This is who he is, man.
Yeah, exactly. I'm going to dive into a lot of things you said. You gave a great summation. I'm going to pull away from some of the things you said. You talked about Steven Adams.
Yeah.
It was, I kind of wish, I hate that we saw him for the first time back in a preseason game. You know what I mean?
You want it to be regular
I kind of wish they was like, he's good. Y'all trust me, he's good. We just going to save it because it's going to be awesome as shit when you see him in the first game.
Yeah.
But I was like, man, it feels incredible to see Steven Adams out here on this court. It seems like it's been over a year. It hasn't. Seems like it would have been coming up on a year, you know what I mean? But it felt good to see him out there. His toughness, his leadership, you can see it. His presence, his strength. Like, Steven Adams looked really good being out there on the court. Like you said, he only played 12 minutes, had 5 rebounds. It was super fun seeing him at not media day, open practice as well. Yeah, man, that whole Steve Adams things is good. But that being said, how much do you think he helps Jaren in his new role as far as, you know, they're wanting to do more things with Jaren? How much do you think Steven Adams really impacts his team throughout the season, being healthy, being that rebounder, being that tough guy like he's
Man, he's the key.
Yeah.
Like, for real.
Yeah.
Because
we see that now.
If you want, like, unless you want, we did all the talk about FIBA. Like, you saw everybody talking about Jaren at the 5 and all that. The best part about having Steven Adams is you can put Jaren at the 4. Jaren, I don't know if people know this, Jaren is 6'11", 260.
Yeah.
That's average center size in the NBA. Like, he is bigger than most centers. Every single night, pretty much every night, it might be 1 or 2 nights where Jaren Jackson Jr. is going to be guarded by somebody bigger than him. Most nights, mismatch every single night. He's 6'11", 260. since that's the case, a typical team would say, okay, we could just switch our 4s and 5s and we could just guard Jaren with our center and put our 4 on the 5-man. You can't do that with Steven Adams because Steven Adams, you need all the strength you can possibly gain to move him out of the way. For example, we saw it with the Lakers in the playoff series, right? Xavier Tillman, solid player, but he ain't really, a scoring threat like that. So the Lakers, when Steven Adams brings a lot to this team, and it ain't fancy. He ain't doing turnaround mid-range jumpers and a lot of 3-pointers and off the dribble stuff.
He just helps unlock a lot of guys.
Unlocks a lot, and Jaren is the biggest beneficiary for sure.
We saw the Derrick Rose, Steven Adams pick and roll.
Man, it looked good.
I'm sure we're gonna see some Desmond. His pick and roll game is top tier for sure. So I'm crazy excited to see Steven Adams back for sure. Coach Jenkins also talked about how he wants to initiate some new things in the offense. Did you see anything? We saw Jaren be used a little differently, for sure. Did you see anything else that kind of stood out as far as his new offensive approach?
Yeah, so in the first game, they showed little kinks, and then I'm sure, when the second game, they're going to show some more. And as the preseason goes on, they're going to do more and more. Just talking to the guys, I wouldn't even say it's going to be a little different. I think it's going to be a lot different. Like, every player that I pretty much talk to is, every time we're talking, they're saying, well, man, it's a new offense. It's a new offense. You got to realize the assistant coach that they brought in from Milwaukee, Sain. Sain is the offensive guy now, basically. He is the guy who's mainly in charge of the offense. Taylor Jenkins, you saw that media that talked about the gears. Gear 1, Gear 2, Gear 3, Gear 4 of the offense. But it's deeper than that. This is the first time I've really heard the Grizzlies kind of emphasize this 5-out type mentality.
Yeah.
Xavier Tillman's probably going to be shooting more 3-pointers this year. Steven Adams is going to be spacing the floor a little bit more, in more situations. Of course, he's still going to go get those offensive rebounds. But the 5-out thing, that's why in the first preseason game, when we saw the first substitutions made, instead of the Grizzlies going to Xavier Tillman and bringing in a natural center, they had Jaren and Santi because you can emphasize that 5-out. Like, they're taking space into a whole nother level now, and that's what it's supposed to open up this half-court offense to another level.
And we saw David Roddy playing the 4.
You saw David Roddy playing the 4. Like, they're going to go small a little bit.
Yeah, I love it, man. I love it. With that being said, we talked about the offense, talked about Steven Adams. It's been different rotations, starting lineup-wise. We're speaking into the future. This hasn't happened yet. But for tonight's game or yesterday's game, however y'all want to look at it, recording the day before is so strange. All right, so for Tuesday's game,
to the future.
Right, for Tuesday's game, who are you looking at being the 5th starter? Who do you think is going to end up being? Because we saw Luke Kennard. I'm assuming it's probably going to be Zaire is going to start this game. I'll give another name that I've seen people throw out too. What am I trying to say? No, I'm sorry. I'm talking about that later. But go ahead.
Yeah.
Who do you look at as be the 5th starter probably in Tuesday's game?
Zaire or Conchar.
Yeah.
And Conchar is your low upside, but you know exactly what you're gonna get picked.
Ain't gonna do shit. Also, ain't gonna mess up shit.
And and Zaire is anything in between.
Yeah.
Zaire might score 20. Zaire might score 2. But that's why Taylor Jenkins is emphasizing the defensive side of it the most, and that's what whoever that player ends up being, that's going to be the key for them. Like, this is an audition. I'm sure it's going to be if it's Conchar, I'm sure Zaire will probably get the next start, and if it's Zaire, Conchar will probably get the next one. But this is kind of auditions for these guys. That's why Luke Kennard got the first run. It'll probably be Conchar, and then Zaire will probably get his chance.
Yeah.
And, I mean, they probably won't decide until you still got, 2-3 weeks? A little bit more than 2 weeks out. But I think it's going to be one of those two for sure.
Yeah, we've seen open practice and we've seen one preseason game. Of course, we'll have another one on our belt tonight. Are you concerned with Luke Kennard's shooting at all?
No. Zero.
All right, me either. I just want to see if you thought anything different. All right.
And they shot, as a team, they shot bad, but it's I feel like, again, it's a new offense.
Right.
They're working out the kinks. The shots will come, and Luke and Dez is those are 40% automatic 3-point shooters. Like,
because I've been this year I've been saying, okay, I want to go when the crowd goes Luke.
Yeah,
I want to Luke too, but he ain't been hitting the three. So
yeah, when you say
like I'm going there, but you ain't going there. You gotta go with me, Luke. You know what I mean? So but we talked about Zaire. When you look at the young guys, the big three wings are three-piece wings. We got you got you got Zaire Williams, David Roddy, Jake LaRavia. Those are your guys who you look at as your project wings. If just one of them breaks through, this team could be phenomenal this year. How those guys look? I'll say this: I have one frustration about Zaire Williams, and I was happy with some of the things I saw open practice. I was happy with some of the things I saw in the preseason game. The thing that's bothered me, and of course, by the time this airs, I'll probably look like a dummy. But Zaire concerned me in that first game when he was out there on the lineup that had what's the little bitty point guard?
Jacob Gilliard.
It was Gilliard, Roddy, Jake, Zaire, and I want to say maybe Gigi or it wasn't Lofton, Tillman maybe.
Yeah, Tillman.
And Zaire was like, I'm like, dude. You sat here and told us that you were the hardest working man on this team this summer.
Mm-hmm.
This is your time to shine. Like, I'm going to be the fifth starter on this team until John Morant's come back.
Yeah.
And I'm going to put so much pressure on y'all. Y'all got to decide whether you going to play me or you going to play Marcus Smart. That should have been your mentality. But you just have to just kind of floating around, ain't asking for the ball, like ain't being aggressive when you get the ball. Like, this is the preseason, man. This is when you can prove the things that you were talking about on media day. You know what I mean? So that frustrated me. Only had like 5 or 6 points the entire game. Made 2 shots. But he looked good. He showed the ability to get to the basket. I was like, yes, Zaire, this is what we need from you. You can become a guy that can become a playmaker. You can put the ball on the ground, mid-range, and I can kick out the three for you. Man, you're earning your keep. But that's my concern with him. Where are you at as far as Zaire, Roddy, and Jake LaRavia, those 3 guys?
So it all starts with defense because Taylor Jenkins is going to start it there. And Zaire, again, as I wrote a story last week basically saying how he was putting himself in the position to be in the conversation for that fifth starter because basically his defense. He was standing out defensively through the first couple days of practice. David Roddy defense has kind of been what had him on the floor as a rookie. You know, he guarded Kevin Durant. When Dylan Brooks was ejected from that game in the playoffs, they brought in David Roddy. They didn't bring in Kennard. They brought in David Roddy to guard LeBron James. So David Roddy kind of has that now, but offensively, there's a gap between the two. You know, whereas David Roddy right now is a little bit more limited. Zaire has more in his bag. We know Zaire has the midi. The 3-point shot is still inconsistent and whatnot, but he can run the floor really well. David Roddy can run the floor too.
Athletic.
But man, exactly, he's just gifted.
David Roddy's probably 6'4",
6'4", and it's a difference. Like it's just levels. It's a difference. Jake LaRavia, like he can hoop. He got the offensive game, but defensively, he's got to bring some more to the table. There were a couple times in that first preseason game where I saw, he was beat off the dribble, reached his hand out, got a couple fouls and things like that. Like, you got to see more from him on that end so he can kind of stamp himself because Jake LaRavia, when you think about the offensive side of it, he seems like a good fit to that starting group because he's a shooter. Like, you put him on the floor with those guys, all they're doing is just going to pass to him, kick out, knock down shots. Boom. He got the size to guard those bigger guys. But when you got Paul George in front of you, and he hitting you with the in and out, and between the legs, like, we don't need you rocking side to side. Like, you got to be able to slide your feet.
You need to come sit with me. Like, he done shook you, now you sitting with me. Nah, I need you on that court.
Exactly. But, so I think those other 2 guys probably got a little leg up right now because of that. But Jake LaRavia, I mean, what he showed in that first preseason game, he continued to build on that. Whole different conversation.
But see, that's the thing with him, though, man. That's like kind of shaky as well, is that you can visibly see his confidence level change when he's out there with lesser talent. When he's out there with, the Indiana Pacers 10 through 15 man, he's a different player than he was out there with the starters. But
he took like 14 shots.
But see, we need you to have that level of confidence to be ready when John and them kick to you in the corner, you're ready to knock down that shot. But when he's playing with other, like, lower rotation guys, he gets off. You can visibly see his confidence is different. I just wish he's a guy, like you said, who could be like one of those guys. Because these 3 guys we have, man, like I joked about, make your own wings, or we got wings at home. Like, that was the hashtag I was doing. If these 3 guys could just be guys that you can be that fifth guy on the court that can knock down open shots, defend a little bit. Your answers, everything you need is right there already on your roster.
If you combine their skill sets, you will have like a elite 3 and D wing.
Exactly. Exactly, for sure. Something I'm saying, people say now is everyone sees what Junior does on the court, and then they turn around and say, but he can't defend, he can't do this. But he's like, but people are saying there are other guys who they can't do those things, but you're telling us to be patient with them while playing those guys. Junior Lofton is 21 years old, just like the rest of these guys, or younger. He's younger than some of these other guys we're calling young guys. Why isn't he granted the same type of grace amongst the fan base? Like, why do we look at Junior like he's a guy who's, well, he really don't matter. He really don't count. But we want to develop these other guys.
Okay. This is what I'm going to say. So I'm going to start with this, something simple. It's just the big man rotation is the deepest area of the team, in my opinion. That and minus Brandon Clark, they still got plenty of bodies there. With that being said, now I'm about to throw a scenario back at you because this is what I think it comes down to at the end of the day. This is the situation with Kenneth Lofton Jr. because I think he should play too. Yeah. But this is the situation that the Grizzlies have to deal with. If you go towards the end of last season, the best two-man lineups, everyone talked about Bain and Luke Kennard. That was the second best. Number one net rating two-man lineup was when Jaren Jackson Jr. and Santi Aldama were on the floor together. Yeah. Well, guess what? Santi Aldama is still progressing as a defender. He can move laterally, but his strength is one of his weaknesses right now. We see him getting pushed out the way from time to time, and then he lacks defensive awareness in certain situations. He's growing in that area, but he isn't a plus defender, I would say, at this point. He's probably around average. So you got Santi Aldama, who isn't a plus defender. And you got Xavier Tillman coming off the bench. Defensive versatility is Xavier Tillman's strength. Maybe not one-on-one against Anthony Davis, but he can go down the line, hold up against D'Angelo Russell, then Austin Reeves, then LeBron James. Like, he can hold his own 1 through 5. Xavier Tillman can. So defensively, he's sound. He's solid. You got him and Santi. They mix well together. What the Grizzlies did with Santi Aldama in their first preseason game is when Santi came in, he played alongside of Jaren. And Xavier Tillman, you know, he got mixed in there as well, primarily with Jaren, but they would mix him in with the Roddy and situations like that as well. But here's the thing, when it comes down to Kenneth Lofton Jr., this is what I'm about to throw back at you. All right. If Kenneth Lofton Jr. were to be a part of the second unit, you would need him to be on the floor with Jaren Jackson Jr., like in those rotations. I think if you put Kenneth Lofton Jr. and Santi Aldama as your front court, you ask for a lot of points to be scored against you. I think it can work if you put Kenneth Lofton Jr. on the floor with Jaren Jackson Jr. But if you do that, now you don't have the Jaren Jackson Jr. Santi pairing no more. That's your best big man net rating lineup. Right. So
you make a good point.
So that's what I want to throw back at you. Is it worth putting Junior on the floor if you have to give up Santi and Jaren? And that's why I think the Grizzlies haven't done it.
And I think he probably has a certain responsibility he's got to meet as well, because all these things that we're talking about, is that like they aren't trying these things at camp? I'm sure that those scenarios might not look good. You know what I mean? It might be one of those type of situations where we know we have to play him with Jaren, like, period. He probably wouldn't work with anyone else but Jaren. Maybe him and Steve, whatever. But I think they probably tried all these situations with him, but they just don't like what they see. I'm a super big proponent for Junior Lofton. I think he can be an incredible player. But I think there are levels he's got to take to on his own. He's got to learn that when I'm not the featured player, I still have to find ways to contribute big time. Because right now, it's like he's very one-dimensional. But I just would like for fans to understand he's a 21-year-old developmental player as well. Give him the same time and grace
that you
allow for these other dudes. Because I think, if anything, I think he could be an incredible change of pace forward. If Tillman's struggling, if Santi's struggling, just see what you can get. Instead of coming back Santi and Jaren, throw out some Jaren and Junior and see what you get out of it. That's
you know how they say a lot of dudes like ahead of their time. Like
he's behind his time.
Yeah, like 10 years ago, this man would have been like a focal point of an offense.
Yeah, some team would have drafted him to be like their focused offensive big for sure.
Exactly.
He would have been like what's the guy's name? He played for Minnesota for a while.
Oh, Al Jefferson.
Al Jefferson, yeah, he would have been one of those types, but much shorter for sure. Like I said, I think we're both supportive of Kenneth Lofton for sure, but we'll see how that whole thing plays out. But when you're in an overtime game and in the
Give him the
preseason,
ball,
just give him
man.
the ball.
Give
Just
him
get
the
out the way
ball.
and give him the ball for sure. Jaren and Bain, those two guys. I'll say this, and I'll kind of throw my last two questions together. Of course, this is DaMichael Cole, Grizzlies beat writer for the Commercial Appeal. I'll throw these two questions together. There's a aura of focus, fun and focus at the same time that I've never seen with this team. I can't really describe why I feel it. It's nothing really tangible I'm seeing, but it just feels like, especially with the two guys you know are there, Marcus Smart, Derrick Rose.
That's a big part of it.
That this team is locked in. Plus, it seems like Desmond Bain and Jaren Jackson Jr. are super locked in as well. I'm gonna tell you what stood out to me from when we had open practice. Every year since Kleiman and them have been here, since this regime has been here, I think Jaren Jackson Jr. has been the person that has spoke as the final person to greet the team.
Yep.
Desmond Bain did it this year. Desmond Bain has been here this whole time. Jaren's been here, except for, I'm sorry. He's been here several years when Jaren has been here too, doing it. Bain did it himself. I think that they are telling Bain that they want him to be the leader of this team. This is his team as far as on the court. Marcus Smart, Derrick Rose, two incredible leaders, but they're not the on-court leaders of this team. I think that they're giving the ball to Dez, not giving the ball to Dez, but they're giving that reign, that mantle to him to be the leader of the team. And I just think that those two guys, that's always how it's been though. Like when Zebo and Mike Conley and Tony Allen and Marcus All were here, you had your basketball leaders who they were anointing, which were Mark and Mike. But your dogs, like actual locker room alphas, were Zebo and Tony.
Exactly.
So I think even with this year's team, you've got guys like Steven Adams, Marcus Smart, Derrick Rose, who are like your heart and soul vet, older guys. But your two younger dudes, Desmond Bain and Jaren, are your guys. So what do you think about the energy that you're seeing, the vibe that you're seeing from this team? Does it feel, am I just kind of like projecting this from my own mind? Like, yeah, this is a vet team, but do you see a team, do you actually see and feel a team that's more focused?
So far, yeah.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, it's a notable
I can't really put a finger on what I'm trying to say, though.
This is what I see. Like, for me, the past couple years, you had so many guys. Everybody's learning together on the fly. Like, this is new to even the oldest players on the team for the most part. Of course, you had Steven Adams in there, but you talk about Jaren, Dylan. Like, these were your oldest guys, and these are guys, that have been in the league 4 or 5 years at that point. And now, you're talking about Dez. This is year 4 for him. Getting to that point.
Right.
Jaren, year 6. Year 5, Ja Morant. And the list goes on. But a lot of these guys are getting older, and more than anything, they get to see it. Zaire, me and Zaire were talking the other day, and he was
you are Zaire's Amar Rashad in this joint.
No. We were just talking after, man. We was just talking in the locker room, man. And he was just like, man. He was like, D Rose, he's just so good off the court. Where he just, you could. It was refreshing.
Yeah, man.
It was unprovoked. I didn't even, he's just talking about, he's such a good person. Like, he got good advice for you, and just off the court, just lifestyle things and stuff like that. And you got to think about the vets that you bring in too. That from the perspective of, you can't big time me. You can't big time Derrick Rose.
No.
Derrick Rose done did everything all these guys want to do. And he's still going every arena around the NBA. When he come out for pregame, all the kids are standing there with posters waiting on him.
Right. He's standing right beside Ja.
Exactly.
Right.
Like, he been there, done all that. Marcus Smart, Defensive Player of the Year as a guard. Like, he can go in your face and he tell you, oh, you need to be here on defense. Hey, that's Defensive Player of the Year. Like, it's a little bit different. It's kind of, with Danny Green, I'm gonna say this. It was similar from the perspective of Danny Green. They approached him like, hey, he got the rings. But these dudes are a little bit like Derrick Rose. I'm not saying, well, I'll start with Marcus Smart. Marcus Smart is a little meaner. Marcus Smart gonna tell you straight up how it is. Derrick Rose is gonna tell you straight up how it is, and it's not from a mean or nice perspective. He more, Derrick Rose is like always had like this just Like, he's never been one to joke around too much and crack all these jokes. He's always just been, you seen the video, everybody's seen the video of the All-Star game with LeBron and Dwayne Wade and Bosh, all them dudes dancing and Derrick Rose just standing there standing there locked in. Like, that's who he is.
Yep.
And it's still that to a certain degree. Like, he's opening up more. He talked about that recently, like just being more vocal and things like that. But when those dudes talk, they listen, and it's shifting because I was talking about it to somebody at shoot around yesterday, just about how, like, you can tell, like, when Derrick Rose greets everybody and stuff, like, the players look and they paying attention and it rubs off. So it's definitely notable. And let me tell you, the Grizzlies know too. You know why they know? John Morant locker. Guess whose locker is right beside his now?
Derrick Rose.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it was 2 players that are currently on the team right beside Ja last season. So they had to
move some things
that.
around. Yeah. And this is not to take a shot at Dylan Brooks. Shout out to Drake for taking shots at Dylan Brooks. But this is not to take a shot at Dylan Brooks. But there's a difference between when you're on court contributing vet, which was Dylan Brooks last year. Yeah. When one of those guys, it's a different type of bonding. Now I know all the dancing and all those type of things, the walking down the tunnel dance and all that. I know those things created chemistry. I know it created a bond. But it's a difference between the guy whose bond is based around that type of stuff and guys who are coming in, let's make the common bond be about business, about winning the championship, about being professional.
DB came up with them in a way.
Exactly.
So,
It's like, exactly like you said, man. It's like when one of your boys, you look up, he graduated, now he a sub at the school. You know what I mean? That's kind of what DB is for sure, man. Or like a guy who used to be one of your co-workers, now he's an assistant manager. That's kind of what DB was. But now you got these, real deal vets in. And I think it's going to be fun. I think it's going to be a great year. They're still having fun, but it looks a lot more locked in, a lot more focused
for
than
sure.
in the past.
I agree.
And you did make it tangible when you were talking just then. But it's my man, DaMichael Cole, man. Y'all go check him out on the Commercial Appeal. Y'all know what he does. It's Grizzly time, man. So I'm going to pull out my Grizzly friends. We're going to chop it up about the Grizzlies here twice a week when we come do our thing. About to take a break, man. When we come back, it's the 3-pointer here on Anthony Sain Show. We'll see y'all in a minute.
Bluff City Media and Bluff City NIL are proud partners of Coaching for Literacy, a Memphis nonprofit using the power of sports to impact childhood literacy. When you donate to Bluff City NIL through Coaching for Literacy, your gift is 100% tax deductible. This partnership is a win-win-win. Tiger student athletes win in the NIL landscape. Coaching for Literacy wins by engaging Tiger student athletes in this monumental cause. And most importantly, elementary students in Memphis receive support to become strong readers. To donate today, visit coachingforliteracy.org/bluff-city.
But there is someone I want to talk about, someone that you and I are big fans of, and he is becoming really a superstar in front of our eyes, and that is Chandler Martin, the transfer from East Tennessee State. He's the modern-day linebacker. He's a little bit undersized, but he's fast. He's physical. Yeah. He can cover. This guy can do everything, and he has been incredible for this Memphis defense. And we talk about this all the time, like coming in from smaller schools, how does it translate? And Chandler is a guy that sold out quickly, and everything is translated extremely well and very fast. And he is so impressive for this defense.
He really does stand out for the Tigers. When he puts his hands on a guy, when he puts his pads on a guy, he makes an impact. Like he's not a speed guy who doesn't know how to tackle.
Tune in to On the Bluff with Christian Fowler and Gabe Kuhn every Tuesday at 12 p.m. on the Bluff City Media YouTube channel.
But looking back on it, I think Seth has to be better. I think play calling needs to be better. I think that
at times,
sure. It feels
a lot of
like
it is
RPO, so it looks one way. It looks like we're just handing it off left and right. But that's not really what it is.
The offense can't get into any sort of they go through these periods where they look great, they're moving the ball, they can put points up, and then they just 3 and out or 4 plays, 10 yards, and have to punt.
That was kind of surprising.
Rock looks like what we've hoped he would look like.
Yeah,
he and Blake need to be your offense moving forward.
I am going to disagree there. Only because we have more weapons. Where's Blake Humsey? Where's Demir? It feels like the offense has been handcuffed.
Stop using the run to try to set up the pass.
It can be, you can flip that.
Throw the ball down the field and it'll open the run up.
Spread it, open it up, spread the ball around. That will open up the box. Let Blake be Blake.
Tune in to Tigers Untapped with TJ Willis and Trey Lasley every Wednesday at 3 p.m. on the Bluff City Media YouTube channel.
What's going on, everyone? Welcome back to the Sain Show. Shout out to my boy DaMichael Cole jumping in with me today, man. Good stuff from DaMichael as well, man. Y'all got my boy,
beast, man.
Y'all got my boy DaMichael like messed up too, bro. I don't know who y'all think that man is, bro. Other than a real beast out here for sure, man. That's my guy DaMichael Cole, real hardworking dude, man. Like he's one of those guys. We talked about this when John Martin was on. That media is transitioning, man.
Yep.
The days of the journalism degree, do everything by the book, AP. Writing style guys, you're getting good guys now who have more of the influencer juice, who can understand the culture. You know, DaMichael's a guy you can talk about the sneakers, the shoes, all these type of things, music. Like, I'm glad that these companies are realizing, let's hire that younger guy who can really grasp the audience, understand the audience. Things are more social media driven, more digital media driven. He has a great podcast he does with Joe Mullinax. DaMichael's that dude, man. Give him his props, man.
I do. Sure. I got a bone to pick with DaMichael though.
What's it?
That man, I feel like he knows more than he tells us.
Yeah, man, he do seem like he be on here capping on, man. Little Will Smith.
On the yacht with
man, all
Zaire.
that. Yeah, man, all that. My guy, DaMichael Cole, man. But the big three, the three-pointer is what we talk about. Three things that's on the brother mind, man, right now going on in the world of sports. Tiger football is rolling out you know what, bro? I get on these guys' ass about things that I think they can be better about.
Come on, man.
But when it's time to give props, I'm going to give y'all props, man. I'm going to give y'all props. They came with the super cornball. Okay, bro, everybody log out the AI apps, man. Just everybody log out.
Please.
Whatever you're thinking about in the AI app, I've seen Young Dolph. I've seen Elvis.
Okay, that Young Dolph one was weird.
Yeah, bro, y'all.
Everything weird.
Baumgartner, you my man. Hold on, let me look at the screen. Baumgartner, you my man. You my boy, man. We've had some real deal conversations. I've been knowing you since you was 17. Let the dead rest in peace, man. Come on, y'all. Leave the AI alone, man.
That was weird, bro. That was weird.
Hey, man, Young Dolph somewhere in heaven, like, damn, like, what I do? Like,
now they AI-ing me? What's going on?
Damn. I ain't never been to no Tiger football game. What y'all doing? Like, for real, man. Like, why we doing this, man? Like, what are we doing, man?
Bumgarner thought he did something.
Man, this is a classic.
Everybody bored, man.
Bro, you tripping, man. Hey, that's what I'm saying. Go argue with Tulane fans or something, man. And then why you doing that, Baumgartner? Why am I talking about you on my show, Baumgartner? Anyway, man.
That's why he did it.
That's why he did it,
man.
He did it for that reason.
We just doing too much. I talked to Baumgartner the other day. Baumgartner said he was 30. I was like, bro, there's no way you're 30 years old. Like, I remember Baumgartner was like a kid, literally a kid in high school.
Yeah.
Like, shout out to that dude. I see that dude in, like, media appearances. Like, dude, how you get in here? Like, what are you doing, man? Like, I've seen that dude, like, be at press conferences, and I'm like, dude, like, how are you here, bro? Anyway, shout out to my boy Baumgartner. But y'all just doing too much on Twitter right now. Is everybody log out of AI, including the U of M's social media guy with the, Taylor Swift at the Tiger game AI thing. Everybody, please, just log out, man. Just log out. Use it for, like, when you got a meeting, Zoom call at work, and you can, like, take notes.
Right.
But, like, the pictures and stuff, let's stop. But the one with Steve Harvey getting chased by a monster, that's pretty funny.
That's pretty funny.
You see that?
Yeah, I saw that one.
Brother, let me say this, too. We do realize that when we're uploading our pictures to these AI things,
It's going somewhere.
we're giving them permission to do literally whatever they want to with our pictures.
I'm telling you, man. I'm off grid. I want to go off grid with this stuff, man.
Yeah,
Like,
bro. I'm telling you, man. Like, I'm telling you what's about to happen. Y'all are gonna start seeing movies, television shows, commercials, advertisements with your damn face on there, moving, talking, and you in the movie, but you ain't getting paid a dime for it. And you gave these people permission to do this stuff with your image. I'm telling you, keep uploading your images to these things, and you're gonna realize companies are gonna stop paying models. You're gonna see your ass advertising that shit for nothing. I'm telling you, this is what's about to start happening. Keep playing with these AI apps. This is what's gonna happen. Anyway, that was my get off my lawn moment. You're gonna keep it moving. Oh, I didn't even talk about what I'm talking about. Shout out to University of Memphis with the thing they're doing, the rollout with the giveaways to get the students to come. That's dope. They're giving away.
Is that just for students or is that for media too?
No,
because we could get Parrish a phone.
Get Parrish an iPhone. Yeah, they're giving away iPhone 15s,
2 phones.
PlayStation 5s.
I'm gonna be like Kevin Case out here.
I got 2.
Yeah, you gonna spit in somebody's mouth? Huh? You seen it?
Nah,
that was nasty.
Talking about 2 phones.
Yeah, it's Kevin Gates spitting in some girl's mouth on stage. Something like that. Anyway, yeah. But yeah, shout out to the University of Memphis football team. That promo is pretty dope. Get the kids in there, man. Get the student section live, man, for sure. And for the things that they've listed on there. It was a lot of stuff. It was talking about tuition and cars and all kinds of stuff. BBLs, all kinds of stuff they were giving away. But yeah. Shout out to Tiger football, doing big things.
Yeah, that's what you.
I mean, because this game is huge.
Oh, it's a big game. I might be there, man.
Probably biggest game since 2019. You gonna? Whoa, what?
You can give me somebody can get tickets for me and Gabe. I'll go. Like dead serious.
Wow.
When is it? Friday night?
Friday night, 6 o'clock.
Yeah. If somebody get tickets for me and Gabe, I don't want no broke tickets. Cause I need. If I get 2 tickets, I'll show. Me and Gabe will come.
All right, 2 chains.
For real. I'll go. Was it Tigers versus Tulane, right? Big game.
Big game. Massive game.
Big game Sain is what they call me. I ain't showing up for the bullshit. I'll show it for them for sure. But yeah, number 2, University of Memphis was part of AAC Media Day. Yeah, seen a lot of people talking about that. University of Memphis had Javon Quinley was first team.
Not surprising.
Probably the best point guard in the conference for sure. Jordan Brown made the second team.
A little bit surprising.
Yeah, it's kind of trash. Not Javon Quinley. Jaquan Walton, nor David Jones made one of the preseason teams, which I think is crazy. Those 2 guys who one of those guys was in your conference and was a beast last year. And the other dude was a beast in another conference.
Those 2 guys might be the best players in the conference.
Right. And I'll say what I think is going on. And I said this to kind of calm people down yesterday. The AAC conference is in survival mode. They're in a mode where they're trying to preserve who they are now and who they will be in the future.
That's right.
And they got a team that's Memphis also predicted to come in second in that conference, which I think also isn't true. I think Memphis is going to win that conference, and I think they're going to win it easily. I don't think FAU is nearly as good as their Final Four run indicates. But the AAC looks at it like, okay, I know Memphis is here, but does not want to be here. I know Memphis is trying desperately to get the hell up out of here. So I think that they're going to promote the teams that they feel like will be a part of their thing for a while. I think I get that. That's survival mode. And we're hearing stuff today about Memphis in the ACC. I haven't looked into it. Let me know. I'm in let me know when it happens mode when it comes down to Memphis and realignment. So I haven't looked into those things too much at all. But I think that's a big part of what we're seeing with why the AAC is kind of stacking these things kind of against Memphis when it comes down to their preseason stuff. But hey, that kind of stuff gets settled on the court. So we'll see soon, very soon, how this all going to play.
It's just a weird thing because the AAC last year to end the season had Houston. Yeah. Houston basically swept everything.
I was about to say I actually disagree with that because they didn't do that to Houston.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Maybe they learned from all that. Like we put all this into Houston. True. Houston's gone. We know FAU garbage ass is gonna be here for a while. So let's, you know what I mean? And we know Memphis wants to get the hell up out of here. So we got to start thinking like a Conference USA level conference. We can't boost up all these teams who we know don't want to be here. You know what I mean? We got a team that was in the Final Four last year. I could very well see that's their strategy. Either that or they're just some hating ass dumbass. So I'm gonna go with the one that I'm gonna say they're in survival mode.
I'll say this, man. Like I think not to stick too long on this subject, but Elijah Martin and John L. Davis are badass players.
I have no clue who those dudes
are. They're the two guys.
I'm gonna take your word for it, Kenny.
Well, no,
I believe
those are the guys. Those 2 main guys for FAU.
Okay, I'll take your word for it.
That took them to the Final Four last year. They're good.
I've heard those names before then. All right, go ahead.
It's more so some of the Tulane kids that made
Get out of my face, man.
Like, come on, man.
Tulane in the membrane, no. Stop.
Like, you know, it's just one of those things. And I think if you had all 5 of the starting 5 of the Tigers in that number 1 team, and then they chose like Dusty May to be the preseason coach of the year and it not be Penny, they'd be freaking out. But Memphis fans would be freaking out about that too.
Yeah.
But
who did they say is coach of the year?
I don't even know if they came out with that.
Oh, okay.
I don't know if they came out with that. I think they just do players. I think.
I got you.
I just think it's definitely a little bit strange. I think Memphis is definitely in a show me situation, even though they are the conference champions. It's weird. But
yeah, it's kind of crazy for sure. But number 3, Kenny, I have an NBA conspiracy for you.
You kind of hinted at this a little bit earlier,
on
and
Twitter.
I'm super interested at this.
Yeah, man. I don't know if you have any music, some unsolved mysteries or something. But if you have that, Kenny Stubblefield, let that joint hit
right now.
There it is. All right, we're going to chop it up about this NBA conspiracy that I have. Kim, a very observant dude when it comes down to shit that just don't feel. Shit that just don't sound right. Shit that feel like it's just kind of out of place. I'm a person, I believe in parallel universes. I believe in Mandela effects and all these type of things. I believe this stuff going on, man, in the era, like the old people say. I believe there's stuff going on in the era, man. And sometimes you just see stuff that just, okay, how did you get there? Like, you're not supposed to be right there. Like, I question that type of stuff. And something I noticed is we are going into an NBA season where several teams could win an NBA championship, probably. Kenny Stubblefield. There are several teams that feel like there are at least 4 teams I know for sure that you're talking about are serious NBA contenders. Then you've got other teams that feel like they can do something as well. But it just seems odd to me in a season like that just 2 underlying stories that I'm still trying to hear. That seems like, okay, it's not the time for that. You understand what I'm saying? A few weeks ago, the FIBA World Cup wrapped up. Germany won. You start hearing talks about the United States needs to do these other things. LeBron James came out and said, I'm getting the guys together. We're
Captain America.
Captain America is going to put the team together, right? You know, the Avengers, all that. Then you had the Joel Embiid stuff where he commits.
Right.
United States kind of like turned the heat on to get a commitment from Joel Embiid. That's documented that they came to him to try to get this done. You got Joel Embiid. You got people asking De'Aaron Fox.
Right.
What's he gonna do in a NBA media day?
In an NBA media day.
Not FIBA stuff.
2 years from now.
Right. 2 years from now is the Olympics, right? You had people talking about that. You had a breaking news come out that the United States FIBA organization, United States Basketball, is pursuing Drew Holiday to play in the Olympics in 2 years. I'm like, what? Why are we talking about this now, bro? Drew Holiday plays for the Celtics. They're going to be one of the best teams in the NBA. Like, why are we talking about this now? And Kenny Stubblefield, this is a conspiracy theory that I have came up with. I believe that the Grant Hills, the Steve Kerrs, the whoever the USA basketball people are, there's a certain player that did not play in FIBA. Mainly because for PR reasons, he was on a suspension. And because of PR reasons, wouldn't probably not been the best look to send the Punisher.
Amazing.
If LeBron James is Captain America, Ja Morant probably would be the Punisher.
That's so good.
That's not the best guy you want to sit out during that time. But if all things go as planned, if the Ja Morant redemption tour goes as planned, and he goes his 25 games with no incident, if he stays off social media, the Grizzlies are good, and Ja Morant comes back going crazy like you know he is, there's going to be a groundswell of people saying Ja Morant needs to be on this Olympic team. But if I've already got my Olympic team committed in full, what can you say to that, Kenny Stubblefield?
Injuries could affect it.
Yeah, but what you get what I'm trying to say, man. Yeah. I think that Grant Hill is like, all right, let me get in front of this. Let me get this team committed now. So this whole Ja Morant thing, I don't have to answer questions. I don't have to deal with Ja Morant being on this team. My answer is I've got a ton of point guards. My point guards are already committed. I already got Team USA is full. We've known our team for the past year. Now, am I pulling somebody out of my ass? Probably so. But it just seems extremely odd that we're seeing all this FIBA talk, all this Olympic talk, literally during the NBA preseason for something that ain't happening for 2 years.
Whereas next year.
It is next year. We just
whenever.
It's July and
It ain't coming up in October like the NBA season's about to start. That's all I got, man. Y'all can chew on it.
No, it's weird. It's definitely weird.
It's definitely strange.
There definitely seems to. There's no way if Ja comes back and does what we think he's going to do. How do you keep him off that team?
It's going to be hard keeping that man off that team, man. And I'm going to tell you something else. To add to my conspiracy, Kenneth Stubblefield. Add to my conspiracy, Paris Sharkey. Ja Morant is a Nike athlete, right? If you frequent websites like what's the one? Not Temu, the old school sneaker joint. Not old school, but where you get the bootleg sneakers from. God, dog. DH Gate. If you visit DH Gate, there's a knockoff Ja Morant shoe that has Olympic colors on it, has Team USA colors on it. And if that shoe is out like that, Kenny, it makes me kind of think that there's a possibility that that's a knockoff of something they've seen. Like they got some photos from Nike that made that shoe in advance to look like something that Nike actually had plans to come out with. You know what I'm saying? If Nike had their druthers, I think that they would want Ja Morant playing in the Olympics so they could sell Ja Morant shoes, right? I think those Olympic Games are huge commercials for those of you who don't know. So right now, listen to this. Right now, the narrative is, okay, let's go back in time a little bit. I did not want this to last as long. Let's go back in time a little bit, though. When Kobe Bryant had his rape case, they used the Olympics as a PR tool to show you the new version of Kobe Bryant, right? Captain America Kobe, right? Yeah. Right now, Ja Morant is being mentored by who? On the Grizzlies. Who we feel like is going to be?
Derrick Rose.
Derrick Rose. Who's Derrick Rose have a shoe with?
Adidas.
All right. If Ja goes to the Olympics, who would they say is who would they credit his turnaround to? On that end, Captain America, LeBron James, who has a shoe with Nike. Nike wants Ja in the Olympics. If for that reason alone, that's what I look at.
So you think the photo ops are going to be a plan?
Yes. You'll see LeBron draping the job with the flag. Yep. And a Nike towel. You'll see him blessing him in the waters of Minnetonka or whatever.
That's interesting, man.
That's a good one.
Think about that, though, man.
That actually is a really good one.
How does Nike feel about, like, Derrick Rose is going to be getting all this credit for the reformed version of Ja Morant? Think about that, man. Him and Marcus Smart, because Marcus Smart's with Puma. Think about it.
That's a super interesting take, man.
Think about it. That's all I got on that, though, man. That's the three-pointer. When we come back, it's going to be Inside the Same Brain. We're going to talk about my boy Drizzy Drake versus Joe Budden. We'll talk about that and more when we get back on the Anthony Sain Show. See y'all in a minute.
Bluff City Media and Bluff City NIL are proud partners of Coaching for Literacy, a Memphis nonprofit using the power of sports to impact childhood literacy. When you donate to Bluff City NIL through Coaching for Literacy, your gift is 100% tax deductible. This partnership is a win-win-win. Tiger student athletes win in the NIL landscape. Coaching for Literacy wins by engaging Tiger student athletes in this monumental cause. And most importantly, elementary students in Memphis receive support to become strong readers. To donate today, visit coachingforliteracy.org/bluff-city.
There's also been some, conjecture around there about what does this mean for Penny? And I am so tired of that conversation, Christian.
Yeah, it doesn't make any sense.
Bro, what did he just do this offseason?
Right. Yeah, it's never enough. I mean, Jordan Brown, Javon Quinterly, and Nick Jordan, a lot of guys, Jaquan Walton. Like, come on. Aren't all Memphis fans tired of freshmen anyway? I know I would. I mean, like, if I was a Memphis fan, I would be. Just as someone who covers the team, like, yeah. I am all on team old dudes. Like, just keep bringing in transfers.
Unless you tell me this kid is going to be the next LeBron James, or unless you tell me this kid is that highly rated, that highly ranked, like off the rip, day one is the best player on the team, I don't care, man. If a kid chooses Memphis, if a kid doesn't, it doesn't bother me.
Tune in to On the Bluff with Christian Fowler and Gabe Kuhn every Tuesday at 12 p.m. on the Bluff City Media YouTube channel.
I meant to ask this earlier. Is this the biggest game for Memphis football since what?
Biggest game overall?
I think the Cotton Bowl is in a league of its own. So outside of the Cotton Bowl, this game is the biggest game for Memphis football since blank.
Since probably the second game against Cincy to go to the Cotton Bowl.
The 2019.
Home game. Yeah. I mean, what do you say?
That's probably right. I don't know. Yeah. 2019 Cincinnati. I think it's... You can't use anything in the last 2 years.
I don't know that it's as big as that one, but since then, this is probably the biggest.
Yeah, I think I would agree. 2019 Cincinnati.
Tune in to Tigers Untapped with TJ Willis and Trey Lasley every Wednesday at 3 p.m. on the Bluff City Media YouTube channel.
All right, y'all, welcome back to the final segment of the Anthony Sain Show. Shout out to my man, DaMichael Cole, once again. Busy brother coming in with us today, talking about the Grizzlies, good stuff with him as well. A lot of stuff going on, of course, University of Memphis, a lot of little ugly things going on over there. Shout out to the Tiger football program. Big game coming up this Friday against Tulane. Go ahead and get in the building. I'm trying to get in the building. They say they need a celebrity in their joint, man. Hey, I'm him. But yeah, anyway, shout out to all that. But inside the same brain, gonna talk real quick about the Drake versus Joe Budden stuff. There aren't many things that keep me torn, that I'm really torn about Kenny Stubblefield. I usually able to pick a side or just kind of stay in the middle. But this particular situation has me torn for real. Drake is easily my favorite hip hop artist currently right now.
Yep.
I'm a fan of the album that came out. This isn't an album review. If you don't like the album, hey, it's music. You ain't gotta like it. Just don't listen to it. That's what kills about Drake too, is that the people who have stuff to say about Drake's album, hey bro, you've been saying it for the last 4 or 5 albums. Why you keep tuning in? Like if I don't like something, I'm not just gonna keep going there and saying I don't like this. I'm just gonna stop listening to it. So anyway, I'm not gonna get into that whole, if you don't like the album, that's on you. Joe Budden is definitely one of my major influences as far as podcasting goes. Joe has a very questionable character when it comes down to certain things.
Man.
But I'm a big fan of his style, of his show, of how he's independently, put people on, paid people very well from what I've heard, from what it appears. Big fan of Joe Budden as well. His climb, his rise in the podcasting world. And I'll just say this and I'll leave it alone. I think that both men are making very valid points. A lot of people do not realize that Drake, one of his influences was Joe Budden. We all know Joe Budden from Pump It Up and all that type of stuff.
Yeah.
Ain't that many all that type of stuff to it. But we know Joe Budden from Pump It Up, right? But that type of song, for people who actually listen to Joe and like look to his career, those aren't the type of songs he really did the most of. He did a lot of songs that were kind of emotional, sing rap type of stuff. It sounds a lot like the stuff that Drake kind of came up off of. And Drake listed Joe Budden as one of his influences. A lot of people did not know that.
Yep.
Like that happened. Like that's a real thing. And I think that there's a lot of emotional things going on between these two men. Like we talked about earlier, this is grown man business. I understand a lot of Drake's points. I understand a lot of Joe Budden's points. I'm a big Joe Budden show listener. And when Drake's album came out, I tuned in immediately after the album came out to listen to Joe. And he basically was giving most of the praises of the album. There are certain things he said he didn't understand. There are certain things I don't understand. And I put out a post on Facebook saying that Drake has some things he has to deal with within himself. When you go from being just a regular guy who's like, an actor on a show to stepping off into hip-hop, blowing up, and like any woman you want is at your fingertips, all the money in the world is at your fingertips. All those things being true, it's hard to navigate through life when that's what you're doing, man.
Yeah.
You're just too overexposed to the lifestyle. And Drake is one of those guys that I feel like over time, he's going to either have to deal with himself, deal with his past, deal with his insecurities, deal with his hurt, deal with his trauma, or you're going to see some tragic stories coming out about him. I'm not saying he's going to kill himself or nothing like that, but he's going to have to deal with himself. The stuff with Rihanna, man, come on, man. Let them, why you messing with them folks, man? And just the level of petty. And I'm entertained by Drake. I'm entertained by his pettiness. I'm entertained by the levels of low he'll go to, take a shot at somebody or to be petty with somebody. But behind all that, there's something there, man.
Yep.
There's something there for sure. And like I'll say this as I wrap up. As I'm expecting Joe to come back. If you're watching this show, Joe's podcast came out this morning. if you're watching on Wednesday, and I'm sure that gonna be a good comeback from him. But at the end of the day, man, that like Drake has to get his stuff together because Joe has demons that he had to face and he's facing right now. So I think that Drake needs to do the same, man. And I think he's gonna I think he said he's gonna take a break from music for a while. Man, take your time, get yourself together because right now you kind of leaking all over the place, man. You're bleeding, and like I said, for all the dogs, this is the thing, Kenny. Sometimes dogs bark because we hurt, Kenny.
Yep.
It ain't just bravado. It ain't just protection. It ain't just to make you scared. Sometimes we bark because we hurt. But for Kenny Stubblefield behind the glass.
That's good, man.
And Paris Sharkey behind the glass. Shout out to my man, DaMichael Cole, who was in the building earlier. Appreciate y'all, man. Thank y'all for rocking with me, man. Despite everything. Tiger football, love y'all. Tiger basketball, love y'all. Billy Richmond, love you, brother. University of Memphis basketball fans, love you. Billy, Curtis Gibbons, the third, the second, the first. Never met the brother, but shout out to him, too. You produced some incredible offspring. Oh, man. But to everybody, let's just have peace. Let's stop barking all over the place. Let's start bleeding all over the place. Give somebody a hug today. Come give me one. Show me some love. Get in the comments, subscribe, like, share the show, whatever you need to do. But thank y'all for everybody who's been a part of the show today, everybody listening. Appreciate y'all. See you guys this Friday at noon on the Anthony Sain Show, and we out.
Thank you for listening to the Anthony Sain Show. If you enjoyed this episode, leave a rating and a review wherever you download your podcasts. Also, like and subscribe to Bluff City Media's YouTube page. For comprehensive coverage of Memphis sports, head over to www.bluffcitymedia.co and find out how you can become an insider. We will see you back here next week.